It's Monday, September 10th, 2012, and let's talk about what happened this weekend over at XDADevelopers.com. First off, some brief device update news. The oh-so-talented developers at XDA have done it yet again. Thanks to XDA senior member Mongoose Helix, the HTC Droid Eris, a relatively old device, 528 MHz processor, about 288 megs of RAM, if I've read this correctly, has received an initial port of Jelly Bean. Now keep in mind, this is an early preview build, so there are quite a few things that are broken. Specifically, the camcorder and panorama modes, Bluetooth, the headphone jack, and probably quite a few other things that just were not listed. One way or another, it is amazing to see these older devices getting Jelly Beans, so thumbs up and kudos there. Additionally, this week some new features were added into CyanogenMod 10's nightly builds, specifically an updated and changed version of the messaging app. More specifically, this involves revamped notifications and actual pop-ups for notifications, and using gestures to reply to messages with predefined templates, so using a little squiggle to say, "I'm not here right now, go away." This new messaging version can be installed either from an APK or through flashing it through your recovery, so if you want to do it one way or another, please do check out the post, check out the forum thread, and just get some more information on it. In other news, and moving away from updates, the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 has been announced, we've got a forum for it and everything, but it hasn't even been released at this point. However, thanks to XDA Forum moderator Oka1, we now have a full system dump of the Galaxy Note 2. It's about 920 megs, which, if I'm to understand correctly, is actually a pretty decent size for something like that. But if you're interested in digging your hands into it and learning more about the Galaxy Note 2 before it even releases, this is definitely an excellent way to get a look at this phablet. And I hate that word. I honestly hate that word. Apparently that word has made it to Wikipedia now as a phone-tablet mixture. And yeah, it's a giant phone, so yeah, I can see sort of calling it a phone tablet, but just that word kind of grates on me. In other news entirely, in sort of development news but not exactly, a new sort of new feature was announced for the Nexus 7 this week. XDA recognized developer Hillbeast came to the realization that you could enable 720p video recording on the Nexus 7 just by making one change in an XML file. So if you have the Nexus 7 and you want to record video on it, I know a lot of people probably do not, but it is a nice option to have. You can just go ahead and take a look at the forum thread, read up on it, see how it's worked for other people, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Following in that same line, something that might be kind of useful in doing that, there's now a tutorial out on the XDA site, if there wasn't already, with a brief primer on permissions, and specifically permissions surrounding the Android file system. It gives you some information on what the permissions are, how they work, how to change them, things like that. So if you are unfamiliar with all of this, you're not familiar with Linux file system and permissions in general, you may want to take a look at this forum thread. And just to keep things nice and balanced, there was an article this weekend on the XDA site talking all about XDA's Windows 8 development work. It goes into some different apps and tutorials that have been created by XDA members and XDA forum members and developers and all that fun stuff for Windows 8 specifically and for users of Windows 8. So if you want to learn more about Windows 8 or what XDA has done with regards to Windows 8, there's a good place to start. And the last couple of things I thought I'd mention are a couple of bits of XDA update news. New forums have been added for the Droid Razr M, the Galaxy Note 2, the Kindle Fire HD 7, and the Kindle Fire 2. So if you're interested in any of those devices or in seeing what the development community has already started doing or talking about with regard to those, head on over to those forums. And if you have not already seen it yet, XDA is now available through Google Currents. Google Currents, if you're not familiar with it, is a very unique magazine-like newsreader for Android and iOS. Not something I've really spent a whole lot of time with. I did 6 months ago or more, but it's just not something that really stuck with me. Personally, I'm a Flipboard user, so you get to kind of aggregate what you want where you want it. But Google Currents, if I remember correctly, was a very nice app, so it's excellent to see XDA be included as a part of it. Anyway, that's going to be all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button down below if you actually like this video, and hit subscribe up above to be notified when we put out new ones. Thanks again for watching though, and I will see you on Friday.